This is kind of an advice video of how to get an A in any kind of, difficult math course, like university level, and really any kind of science course or anything like this. This is really my trick, and this is how I got through college. It wasn't until my junior year that I just had to, up my game and really do something. But this works for really any class, and I can't suggest it high enough, and this is something I suggest to any student out there. And that is, instead of cramming before the test, it really has to do with cramming before class. And that probably seems ridiculous, but this is the best thing to do. So before you go to class on the first day, okay, go through the either first chapter or first section in the textbook. So these are notes taken over calculus, okay? So in calculus, you have to know your algebra, your pre-calculus, trig, all of those, okay? And then if you take notes, you don't have to do all the problems, all of the homework. You really just have to go over the textbook and the rules, the theorems, okay? So if you're taking, calculus, university level calculus, if you spent 45 minutes before class each day and you just wrote down the theorems and you tried to read through it, you don't solve any problems, you just try to go through the theorems, usually you can get it down on just to one page, okay? And if you do this, if you use this technique, then you go to class, then class will just become a review session for you. So you've already done the work. Now you go to class and it's just a review section, okay? And so each example they show in class is just going to be review for you because you've already looked at the material. And it all just comes down to preparing the one day before instead of always trying to catch up, okay? If you use this technique, I promise you, you might not get an A+ in the class, but you will get an A, okay? And it all just starts with starting 1 hour before the semester begins. If you do that, then I think this technique will really work, and it works for any class, okay? If you go 1 hour before, you write down the theorems, you try to read through it, then when you're in class, you're already in it. You already are stumped, you already have questions, you're already ready to go. Then, when the teacher's going too fast, you know what's going on. You already have your notes down, you're just waiting for example problems, or whatever, and then you have questions. I have a question on this, I have a question on that. And really, this is all your professor is doing. The only thing your professor is doing is writing down the theorems, coming up with example problems that exemplify these situations. So you'll be just as ahead as your professor. So I promise you, if you do this technique, which just requires you to be 1 day ahead instead of 1 day behind, you will get an A in your course. Okay? All right. I wish you well.